What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Marks. So, of course, Newcastle United received formal approval from the Premier League yesterday that Dan Ashworth can now commence his role as the new sporting director at Newcastle United. Of course, they put it up on their Twitter account yesterday. So that is absolutely massive news. Obviously, I already put a video up talking about a fee that had been agreed between Newcastle and Brighton. I also talked about in that video Dan Ashworth as well, where he came from to get to where he is now. And, you know, if you do want to go hear that, then do go check out that video. But we have received the formal approval from the Premier League. Why we needed approval anyway, I do not know. You know, it's absolutely crazy when you consider that he already held a job with the FA before he joined Brighton, which was basically the same job that he was doing at Brighton is what he was doing at the FA. And now he's come from Brighton to Newcastle and he's going to be doing the same job what he was doing at Brighton at Newcastle, which is the sporting director. They called it technical director. At Brighton's basically the same, just different title, differently worded. But he's going to be doing exactly the same thing that he did at Brighton. He's going to be coming in, he's going to be looking at the infrastructure and the inner workings of Newcastle United, and he's going to be talking about where he wants the club to go, where he thinks, you know, we should be looking to improve in the team. He's already had talks with Amanda Staveley, Gadassi, the Rubens, and PIF, you know, about their vision for the club moving forward. He's had talks with Eddie Howe as well, and he will have many talks with Eddie Howe. They'll be working closely together on the future of Newcastle United moving forward, how they both see the club moving forward from where we are right now. And of course, Dan Ashworth is going to be vital to the foundations of laying the foundations for Newcastle United moving forward as well. Like I say, he's going to be looking at the inner workings of the team. He's going to be looking, you know, at the training ground as well. He's going to be looking at the academy. He's going to be looking at the women's team as well. You know, he's not just going to be looking at first team Newcastle United here, the men's team. He's going to be also looking, like I say, at the women's team. He's going to be looking at the youth level as well, because this is a massive project moving forward, you know, and we need to move forward quite quickly, considering we are 2 years behind schedule on what PIF wanted for Newcastle United moving forward. They want Newcastle United to be competing for major trophies by 2030. We are now in 2022, June of 2022. So, you know, there is going to be a boost to push forward, because like I say, we are 2 years behind schedule. This takeover was meant to go through in 2020. Of course it didn't, because of obvious reasons, which I have talked about in previous videos, so you can go check them videos out, you know, and hear my thoughts about the obvious reasons. But this is massive news for Newcastle United that Dan Ashworth has now commenced his role as the new sporting director for Newcastle United. So moving on swiftly from that, we'll talk about a bit of news coming in transfer-wise from footballtransfers.com. Now, I'll put it up there. It's entirely up to you if you want to believe it or not. You know, I'm just showing it. I'm not trying to lead anybody down the garden path here. But NUFC 360 is being quick as a button to get on this one, like they always are. Do go check their Twitter account out. They're a really good bunch of people over there. They put all of the information in one area, so you don't have to scour the net to find it. And they're, of course, putting up what footballtransfers.com has put up, in saying that Newcastle held further talks with Christian Eriksen's representatives yesterday, which was Monday, of course, as I am recording this video on Tuesday. And if that is true, that is really good news, because that is a player that I would love to see play at Newcastle United. Yes, he is advancing in age, but look at what he's done at Brentford since moving there, you know. Look what he's done for Brentford. that is a player, that still has a lot to give in his career. And, it really is amazing as well to see the drive and the determination to come back from a life-threatening moment. Let's not forget, he was literally dead there on the field, and he was brought back to life. And now I know that may be horrible for some people to hear, but at the end of the day, that shows character, it shows determination, and for a comeback from something like that, that guy has a lot of courage, and I have a lot of respect for people like that. I have a lot of respect for somebody that is willing to still continue on with something that they love, when it's almost killed them, and that, deserves respect. Obviously, he can continue to play his career because he is fitted with a defibrillator, which we have seen, with Daley Blind as well. He is also fitted with a similar device. But obviously, because of Italian rules in their league, he wasn't able to play for Inter Milan, so they did have to release him, which means that, of course, Brentford ended up getting a major scoop in getting a player like Christian Eriksen to sign for him. But because he's done so well, it is looking now like, Brentford aren't going to be able to keep him at their club. Maybe he will stay, but it would be entirely up to Christian Eriksen himself. But there is quite a few different clubs that are circulating around Christian Eriksen's signature. Of course, ourselves, Newcastle United, are looking at buying him up from Brentford. There's also his former club Tottenham, who are also looking at him, and there's even Man United as well, with their newly acquired Erik ten Hag as their manager, who are also looking at him as well. It's entirely up to Christian Eriksen wherever he goes, but if he does come to Newcastle United, I'll fully back the lad. He's absolutely amazing, a fantastic player, and to still be able to play as well as he is with what's happened to him is absolutely amazing, and it shows real determination, real courage to continue on as well. And he'd fit perfectly in the Newcastle United dressing room. Something that Eddie Howe has been talking about is, of course, not disrupting the harmony that is in the team, the unity that has been built since Eddie Howe has come in as the manager. He does want to try and keep that unity in the team, and Christian Eriksen coming in would do that, because he does have, of course, people in the team already that he is friends with, like Kieran Trippier, so getting Christian Eriksen to join Newcastle United would be a really good signing. And I'd definitely go for it. I'd 100% back that signing. I'm going to back all the signings basically, but I would definitely be 100% behind that signing of Christian Eriksen. He's a fantastic player. Moving on to Hugo Ekitike. Now, this one's coming from Sky Sports. There's more talks that have been held with Hugo Ekitike's representatives. Have been held with Rems as well, and they're positive talks. They continue on. Of course, they're saying that the fee with around 30 million euros, 25.6 million, is under discussion. According to Luke Edwards, however, he is saying that this deal and quite a few of the deals that we're being linked with aren't going through. Now, I wouldn't believe a single word that Luke Edwards has to say, because he has come out and literally said that he does wind up us Newcastle fans deliberately for clicks. So that in itself, really does destroy any credibility he has, which, to be honest, I'm not a person to down people, but, to be honest, he doesn't have that much credibility to begin with. With the stories that he puts out, they are very clickbaity, and it doesn't help, you know, when you're coming out and you're saying that you're deliberately doing things to wind up the fan base. You know, that's not really going to sell your papers. It's not going to get you clicks to your website, you know, and I'm sure the Telegraph won't be happy about that neither, you know, so it is a bit of an annoying one when, you know, you do have somebody like that keep pouring water or pissing on the cornflakes, if you will, of us fans when we're trying to move on, you know, we're trying to just enjoy this brand new era of Newcastle United. But these talks are coming from Sky Sports. They're saying that Newcastle have had further positive talks with striker Hugo Ekitike. A fee worth around €30 million, 25.6 million is in discussion. But according, like I say, to Luke Edwards, it's not going through. Believe what you want to believe. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to lead anybody down the garden path here. You know, it's entirely up to you. Make your own assumptions. But this one definitely looks like it's not going to be long until Hugo Ekitike signs for Newcastle United. And everybody knows what I think about Hugo Ekitike. If you've seen my video on Hugo Ekitike's chant that I made, you know, then you'll know exactly what I think about Hugo Ekitike. He's a fantastic player, and I really will be looking at this one very closely. You know, I really do hope that he does sign for Newcastle United. Otherwise, you know, the chant will go to waste, and it's a really catchy chant. Do go check it out if you haven't checked it out. And I know there'll be quite a few people probably in the comments of this video, you know, whinging about that chant, but at the end of the day, it's all just a bit of fun. That's it. You know, it's all just a bit of fun. We've had horrible 14 years, 15 years, what have you, of a dictator owning the club, you know, and it's time to have a bit of party. It's time to have a bit of a laugh, you know, and enjoy this new era of Newcastle United. And that's all that chant was about, you know, just putting out a really catchy chant that I came up with. Thought I'd share it with you all, and it did get quite a good reception, I've got to say, you know, so thank you to everybody that did really enjoy it. And unfortunately to the ones that didn't enjoy it, you know, I can't please everybody at the end of the day. But moving on from that, and we'll talk about Sebastian Giovanelli, who is a Uruguayan journalist who works for ESPN. He also works for Sports 890, I believe they're called. But he works for ESPN, and he is putting out that Newcastle and Man United are bidding for Darwin Núñez and all the teams that are the closest to signing the attacker at this time. There's also Liverpool, who are trying to get 42 million for Sadio Mane from Bayern Munich to be able to buy Darwin Núñez for 42 million. I cannot see that one happening, to be honest, with Liverpool trying to get him for 42 million. Man United and Newcastle might have a chance. Obviously, we would have the biggest chance out of the two teams there. You know, obviously, we would have the biggest chance up against Man United because of the amount of wealth that we do have backing with. But it's entirely up to the player at the end of the day, you know, because Darwin Núñez has been rumoured to want European football. If he was willing to give up European football for one season and join Newcastle United remains to be seen, though. So we'll have to see how that one goes moving forward. But that's coming from Sebastian Giovanelli, who is a Uruguayan journalist who works for ESPN, and that's on Twitter as well. Moving on to NUFC 360, who has put up yet another one. Newcastle officials are confident that we can persuade Sven Botman, currently on international duty with Holland, to join the club. He is wanted by AC Milan and is expected to make his decision after their final UEFA Nations game next week. And talking about Sven Botman, the person that is pushing for the deal at AC Milan is Paolo Maldini. He's really, really pushing to get Sven Botman to join AC Milan. And that is purely down to the fact of, you know, how good Sven Botman really is. He's being rumoured to be the next Virgil van Dijk. He's a very highly rated centre-back. Obviously, all of us Newcastle United fans know about Sven Botman, or at least you should, because he's a player that Newcastle have been looking at since the January transfer window. And of course, we're lost out because his club decided to keep moving the goalposts. And then we ended up not being able to sign him in that window. But now we have the summer window, which opens up in 3 days' time, and hopefully by the end of this window we will have Sven Botman's signature. But let's see how it goes moving on from here. But it says there that he's going to make his decision after their final UEFA Nations League game next week. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he does pick to move to Newcastle United and not to AC Milan. Moving on to another rumour, and this one's coming from footballtransfers.com. Of course, NUFC 360 retweeting it out, saying Newcastle actively pursuing RB Salzburg's teenage midfielder Luka Sucic. I believe that's how it's pronounced. If it's not, do correct this down in the comments below. But 20 million euros for teenage star Luka Sucic of RB Salzburg. Obviously, everybody should know RB Salzburg. They are the club, that were responsible for the likes of Erling Haaland, Naby Keita, I believe even Sadio Mane has come from there as well. Anybody who's anybody, basically, in modern day football has pretty much come from RB Salzburg. Your likes of, like I say, Erling Haaland, who is now at Man City, which is absolutely crazy. It's going to be interesting to see how they play their season. Next season is going to be a real challenge to go up against them as well next season with him in their attack. But RB Salzburg are known for having some pretty good players come through their ranks. Obviously some of them have come through their academy, some of them have been acquired, like Haaland. He was acquired and then come through their academy, and then came into their team. But we'll have to wait and see on Luka Sucic, if that is how it is pronounced, to see how that one moves forward from there. Then there's NUFC 360 with a one saying NUFC are in the market for a right winger. Leverkusen's Moussa Diaby and Watford's Ismaila Sarr are being looked at. Now, I've got to say, I watched France play last night, and Moussa Diaby, my God, absolutely fantastic. What a player. He did a lovely run, broke into the box and almost scored the goal. Absolutely fantastic player, quick on his feet, lightning fast, and the skills, the ball control as well, just absolutely amazing. If Newcastle United can sign Moussa Diaby, do it, because he is absolutely fantastic. Have him on one wing, Maxi on the other. That is going to be an interesting attack next season. And then if you added in, the likes of Darwin Núñez, if we could get him into the attack, you're looking at a team, that could challenge for a European place, hands down. That is how much I am behind that Moussa Diaby signing. If we could get him to come at the club, that would be absolutely fantastic. As for Sarr, he's great at West Ham, Watford. He was great at Watford, and I've got to say, could he do it at Newcastle United though? It's all fair and well being a great player. It's somebody like Watford, no disrespect in any way, but when you take that step up to a Newcastle United, an Aston Villa, a West Ham, a Leicester, even an Arsenal or what have you, are you going to still be as good, or are you just going to be, somebody that disappears into the back and nobody really sees much of? You just go disappearing on the pitch, and that's my worry for Ismail Sarr. If he moved to Newcastle United, is that he could be a player that just, disappears out there on the pitch, and that's not what we want. We want players like Moussa Diaby, somebody who's going to, show you what they're made of. Somebody, that is going to come into the team and improve the team, not just, be a little bit of an improvement on something that we already have, or be similar to something that we already have. But for me, I wouldn't go for Ismail Sarr. Moussa Diaby, hands down, absolutely fantastic player. But Ismail Sarr, I just can't say that one happening myself. But at the end of the day, it's entirely up to you. Your opinions as well. Let us know them down in the comments below. And before we end off the video, we'll talk about the recent comments made about Newcastle United by that man, Steve Bruce. Yes, I know not a lot of people will want to hear this, but he's now claiming to take credit for Newcastle United getting takeover from the Saudis. He's saying that he is the reason that Newcastle United got the takeover. If it wasn't for him, Newcastle would have never got the takeover. Because if we had went down to the Championship, the takeover wouldn't have went through. Well, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, everybody's got their own opinion at the end of the day, but in my opinion, I believe that the takeover still would have went through even if we had went down. It's just the way you could feel it. Amanda Staveley had been pushing hard to get Newcastle United ever since that Liverpool game. And she'd been pushing hard and hard and hard for to get the club, and she finally got the team that she deserved to get, because she worked hard to get this takeover, and also she had some great backing from PIF, the Reuben brothers as well, who are well and truly up for this takeover and buying Newcastle United as well. They were PIF were 100% behind buying Newcastle United because they had seen the potential for growth here. You've got an absolutely fantastic fan base. We have 52,000 every week, sellout crowds. I mean, since the new owners have came in, every single game's been a sellout. The season tickets are completely sold out, and it's going to go the same all again, when the brand new season starts as well. So for, somebody like Steve Bruce, who, let's face it, he did get respected by the new owners. He was given his 1000th game as a Premier League manager, which, to be honest, he didn't deserve for the way, he was managing the team. It wasn't great. It was very negative, and he didn't even have the players doing training sessions. There was too many days off. But we've talked about all that, in previous videos on this channel before. So I just wanted to get out there, that no way in hell is he ever, the man responsible for getting this takeover through the door and getting this takeover done. It's not going to fly with us Newcastle United fans. For one, the fans as well played a massive part. I mean, literally so many Newcastle fans went down to London to protest when there wasn't even a match on. I had Holly on the channel, Holly Blades, who is a fantastic fan, very knowledgeable. She's got her own YouTube channel as well. You can go check her out. I'll try and put a link down in the description below. Do go support her. I've had her on the channel, of course, just the once, which was to promote the protest going down to London. Of course, I didn't go personally, but I do back, everybody that did go down there and do the protest. And like I say, I had Holly on the channel, and she had absolute knowledge for Newcastle United. The knowledge that Holly showed for Newcastle United as well at a very young age is absolutely amazing. And for fans like that, it's amazing to be able to have these brand new owners in, to be able to bring the glory days to Newcastle United. I mean, I've been supporting Newcastle United since the 90s. I was born in 1990. I've been supporting them all my life. And, you know, I've been privileged to be able to, you know, say that I've seen Newcastle entertain us. You know, I've seen Kevin Keegan manage Newcastle. I've had the privilege to say, you know, that I've seen Bobby Robson manage Newcastle. And I've even had the privilege, you know, to say that I've seen Alan Shearer in a black and white shirt play for Newcastle. You know, not many fans have had that privilege to say that. And not many fans have had the privilege to have been able to take in, you know, the atmosphere of a European night at St James's Park, you know, and I've had that privilege. Like some of the older fans, you know, that are older than me. My dad's obviously older than me, and he's had that privilege, you know, to take in even more glory days. You know, going to FA Cups and League Cups and, you know, travelling to away games. And, you know, my dad's had some really great times over the years supporting Newcastle United. And now, you know, at 65, he's going to be able to enjoy even more times. And this time, you know, he's going to be able to enjoy it with his two sons, you know, myself and my brother. And that is absolutely priceless at the end of the day, you know, to have their moments to cherish for the rest of our lives, you know, as Newcastle United fans. And I'm sure there's more fans out there as well, you know. So for to have somebody like Steve Bruce, you know, to come out and say that he is the man responsible for it is absolutely laughable. You know, when he couldn't even manage Newcastle United. So all I say to a person like that is, you know, just move on. Your time's done. You know, you had your time in the spotlight. It didn't go the way you wanted it to go or the way you thought it would go, you know, and your time is done. You know, move on from it. It's now a new era at Newcastle United. You know, it's the Ashworth era, the Eddie Howe era, the PIF, the Rubens, and the PCP Capital Partners, Amanda Staveley Gadassi's era of Newcastle United. You know, and it's a brand new time to move forward. And like I say, and I've said on many videos of late, it's the 130th anniversary of Newcastle United, you know, as well next season. So it's a great time to move forward with this club under a new ownership. And hopefully, you know, we'll do it in the right way. Hopefully we'll do it in the proper way. We don't, you know, do a silly thing like what we've seen with Everton, or like we're seeing at Aston Villa, you know, where they're going out there and they're buying 30 plus players for crazy amounts of money. You know, at least we're seeing, you know, our owners targeting players like Hugo Ekitike, targeting players like Luka Suchik as well there, you know. So the young up-and-coming players, the targeting established players as well, like your Darwin Núñez, Sven Botman, even other players as well, like Lucas Paqueta as well, Moussa Diaby. You know, just so many names being linked to Newcastle United. And if we can sign just a handful of them, you know, to go with the team that we've already got, then it's going to be absolutely fantastic moving forward from here. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and however, lads.